Patsy Rahn worked for many years as an actress in Toronto, New York, and Los Angeles. She has a degree in political science from UCLA and a master's degree in East Asian languages and cultures from Indiana University. She is a founding member and chairperson emerita of the Writers Guild at Bloomington. Patsy's poetry and prose have been published in various journals and anthologies. Her book of poetry titled The Grainy Wet Soul is available through bookstores online. For more information, visit her author website, www.patsyrahn.com, where you may listen to some of her readings and sound works. You can also visit her photography website at www.skillfullycurledphotography.com.
Hi, thank you for coming to this virtual reading and welcome. I'm going to begin by doing several poems written during the pandemic, during the quarantine period. And they're sort of in order so that they give a feeling for how things sort of evolved during that time. And then I'll end with a couple of poems regarding the current political environment we've been in recently. So I'll start with the one, it's called Among the Magic Numbers. I'm 70. Which is among the magic numbers of death. Although this death has no age limit, it seems this time around to shine a spotlight on the elders. To be this old means you are a target central for the new coronavirus, the pandemic marauder lurching towards all persons with white hair and stiffness of limb. The news tells us that not only will we die sometime, but we will be dying soon as we begin to feel the belayed effects of the invisible virus spread onto us by people who are living and vibrant, unaware that they are basting us with the film of death. I feel vibrant. I don't feel sick. I don't feel old. I don't feel my warranty has run out or my subscription ended. I am perhaps a bit bored, a bit frustrated, a bit scared, a bit annoyed, a bit angry, a bit rebellious. When this is over, come over and see if I'm alive. If I am, I will look at you, and you will be a warm breeze wrapping me close. This next one is a bit of an introduction. I had a hard time writing during this period, and it was really difficult. So that's a little intro into this. It's titled, To the Quarantinos. The world is held hostage by the minuscule virus, and I have nothing to write about. Around the globe, people are sheltering in place and social distancing, and there is nothing to write about. The stock market is contagious, making us all sick as it falls towards the bottom of the barrel, and I cannot write about anything. Generations ago, some of my descendants were wealthy merchants in New York City, and they lost everything in a stock market crash, never again to regain it. And the destruction of our economy has gone viral, crumbling block by block, store by store, by industry, by unemployed worker, by sick medical personnel, by fear. And I am not motivated to write. There's nothing to write about as fear sits on my pen and watches me try to make meaning out of these scary words. Next one, this is called Tea and Isolation. Nothing is better in a pandemic than a cup of Earl Grey tea. It is hot with a touch of bitter citrus that goes down dark and smooth. And there is enough caffeine to provide a burst of sunlight to your cloudy mind. Recently, on a chilly afternoon during quarantine, I made a steaming cup of Earl's Grey and set out for a walk in the neighborhood. Walking slowly while sipping tea, I stared into every blank window, just in case a figure behind the reflecting glass might lift a hand to wave. Finally, as I was about to turn onto the curve in the road, a child opened his front door a foot and peered out. I waved, and he quickly glanced behind him where the shadowy figure of his father stood, holding a cup of steaming coffee. I could see his ghostly arm lift to wave through the darkness, so I lifted my teacup in salute. And you can, things sort of changed as the quarantine kept going longer and longer and longer. And for me personally, I did find some silver linings to this period. And I think on a grand scale, we have some silver linings developing. But on a very personal level, this has to do with a bit of silver lining I found. It's called Day of the Living. We are keeping social distancing while being outside, but we are close enough to wave, to say hello, to have a conversation over the fence. Watch each other walk down the road. My neighbors walk their 2-year-old girl up and down the gravel easement in front of my yard. My puppy bounds up to the fence and sticks her curly head through the wood slats, making the mother coo and the 2-year-old squeal. My other neighbor is outside with her 2-year-old girl as her husband puts up solar panels on their roof. And the neighbor in the house across the gravel easement lets out his German Shepherd into their yard, then carries orange peels to the compost pile. A woman who lives nearby walks her dog past the corner and waves to each of us who are outside. Hello, hello, hello. We wave, we smile. She walks away down the road with her dog. And my puppy is bounding in the yard and looking silly. And somehow this pandemic has delivered us out of our isolated lives. And the last pandemic poem is called Virus Version. Tiny little bits of life are traveling around the globe on our shoulders, sightseeing, visiting many different types of people in many different types of homes, never knocking, just carried in. They never knew life could be so all-inclusive, so full of opportunities. No predators to stop population growth, no borders or rules to stop immigration, no passports required. This thin layer of visitors, a film over the globe, looking for more spaces to explore, cultivate, and settle down. It's the good life. Like our teenagers on the beach, they party as if it will never end. Okay. This is more about our general political situation we've been in for a number of years now. It's titled, In These Troubled Times. What happens when the murkiness of an immoral mind lowers its rule upon us? What is it that flows so freely to cage us in? How is it that we are covered with thorny lies? Where is the relief back to honesty? How can we stem the cold tide? When is our way out from under? Where is our arising? And this next one is for all of us. Into life. We are shedding past shadows like a stripper unburdening herself. We are staring out into the raging storm, wishing the rain would wash off aged angers, hurts, and hates, to reveal our naked selves. We are slowly peeling away the used dead skin, light as butterfly wings. This transparent skin is imprinted with our pores, our original stamp of caterpillarness from before the transformation, before the tribulations and tasks, until we reveal the genuine. a resurrection of restructuring, redefining, re-entering back into life. And I'm going to end with the last poem in my book, which is Voila, the Grainy Wet Soul. And this poem is titled, Take Your Power. Take your power and soften it like warmed butter. Let it be easily spread around. Gently let it roll off the back of your enemy and find a place in the earth where a seed awaits. Then let your melted power soak into that seed and rise up through the dirt to drink the sun and grow into a tree, an evergreen tree, evergreening the earth. Let our power weaken until it is like a balm upon our minds and the minds of others. Let our power relish kindness and flourish in the flutter of a wave lapping the edge of the grainy wet soul. Thank you. Keep well.